our next main topic kind of ties into this. So I was just talking about how movie theaters have been getting their asses kicked all week. Well, here we go. Next main topic. Let me expand this for you guys a little bit so you can, maybe not. It's just being a little touchy today. Everything you need to know about the Universal and Cinemark early VOD deal. So if you don't know what this is, Cinemark, I'm going to expand it out so you can read it. Cinemark and Universal made a deal similar to what AMC did about a couple of months ago. So here's what the terms of the agreement are. Universal can put movies on premium video on-demand platforms as little as 17 days after they reach theaters. So the theatrical window right now is currently 90 days. If you don't know what the theatrical window is the amount of time that movies can or must stay in the theater before they reach streaming. The amount of time before a movie can go to streaming after it has launched in the theater. So even if it's out of theaters, it still can't go to streaming until after that 90-day window. That's to protect the theaters, specifically. It also really helps the studios because, in all honesty, again, you're not going to make the money from VOD releases that you're going to make in theatrical releases. So I don't know why they even have an issue with this, because they were making money hand over fist. Now they're trying to push because everybody's hurting, and instead of working together, they're, looking out for their own. So it is what it is. This is Hollywood, right? It's show business, not show friends. Anyway, so Universal can put movies on premium video on demand as little as 17 days. Films that generate at least $50 million in opening weekend ticket sales, however, will have to play exclusively in theaters for 31 days or 5 full weekends. Now, that's still, and it says right here, traditionally new releases remain on the big screen for 75 to 90 days before they move to digital platforms for a $19.99 rental fee. So, even so, the theatrical window at this point has now shrunk to 30 days, 31 days, no matter what. So, which I'm not opposed to that, really. Especially nowadays, most movies kind of complete their theatrical run for the most part in the first 3 weeks. After that, it's just residual stuff. And if they get 5 weeks in there, then I think they're good. So I'm not necessarily opposed to that. Universal made a similar agreement months ago with the world's biggest cinema chain, AMC Theaters. The decision initially drew criticism, yet having Cinemark on board now means that 2 of the biggest movie theater chains in the country have resigned to the fact that the film industry will look very different when the world emerges from the coronavirus pandemic. So, let's get into this. AMC and Cinemark are now on board with Universal on this, and shrinking the theatrical window. Disney has been on record saying that they are all in on the theatrical experience and are not interested in this. Now, I'm sure once it becomes a thing, they will utilize it, but I don't think they're looking to. Disney understands that theaters make more money. They don't want to do this, basically. They're smart. Gee, Universal's desperate. Now, Disney should be desperate. They're losing money hand over fist in the pandemic right now, but they're smart. They think longer term. So they were saying that Cinemark being one of the largest. So AMC is the largest theater chain in the world. The second is Cineworld, which owns the likes of Regal and Cineworld in the UK and all through Europe and whatnot. I think Cinemark is third, if I'm not mistaken. And in the US, I think they're fourth, and third in the US, I think, is Marcus. I could have that flip-flopped. So out of the top 4, let's just say US, out of the top 4 US theatrical exhibitors, 2 of them have now made this deal, and 2 of them have not. I have reached out to my contact in Marcus and have heard nothing back. So, but we'll see. That being said, 2 out of the 4 now have made this deal. 2 have not. Regal and Cineworld are adamant that they do not want this deal, and don't want to do it. But then again, when AMC made the deal, so was Cinemark. Cinemark was adamant as well that they do not want the deal. And then they changed, and they decided they did want the deal, which is interesting. So the question is how long will Cineworld hold out? And then if like the fourth biggest one, Marcus, jumps on and Cineworld's the only holdout, I feel like the dominoes will then fall. Cineworld's basically, Regal Cineworld is the only holdout. So the thing is this good? Short form during the pandemic, yes. Now, this deal, by the way, is, I believe, a 3-year deal. Well, let me confirm that. I heard it was a 3-year deal. So after 3 years, they got to renegotiate the deal. I can't find it now, but I'm like 99% sure that's what it said. So it's a 3-year deal that they made. So after 3 years, the deal is going to get renegotiated. What's going to probably end up happening is NATO, not that NATO, but what is it? The North, I don't know. Anyway, NATO is theater owners, Association of Theater Owners, National Association of Theater Owners. Thank you. Sorry about that. They're probably going to get together at some point, and the studios are all probably going to get together at some point and make more of an umbrella type deal. That's my prediction. Because at this point, it's kind of the Wild West. You know, Universal is the only studio making this deal right now. All the other studios haven't done anything like this. And now only individual theater chains are making this deal right now. And none of the other ones have done anything like this. So it's the Wild West, which is not what you want. I think at some point, cooler heads are going to prevail. They're all going to get together and make more of a general type deal. So that's what I predict. So is this good? Short term, yeah, this is probably good. It gets newer movies into the theaters, which the theaters absolutely need, and it gives the studios flexibility to pull them if they're not doing well, drop them on VOD, and get up some membership on VOD. Now, my next story, if I'm not mistaken, is gonna throw another monkey wrench into this whole thing. So I'll get to that, but I'm gonna hold off on it. So long term, this is not good for theaters, and it's not good for the theatrical experience, and it is not good for us. And I've pounded this point at nauseum, guys. You want the theaters to survive as fans of movies and TV, and yes, I'm including TV. You want the theaters to survive. VOD has proved in a pandemic, it is proved when everybody's home that it's not going to make the money that theaters make. People go to the movies and to the movie theaters for the experience, the night out with friends and family, the popcorn, the snacks. They want to pay the overpriced for the popcorn because it's an experience. And look, theaters exhibit movies 1,000 times better than your home theater setup, and I don't care how good it is. It's a fact. Okay, again, I've seen these setups. They're racks of Crown amps, and the one laser projector is like almost $1 million. Like, your setup is not as good as the theater. No matter what, no matter how awesome you think it is, it's not. So, and again, the pandemic has proved VOD is not going to make that money. You know, we now have a track record of it. Mulan, Trolls World Tour, Bill and Ted, and Mulan was a tentpole. So Mulan was a movie that they were predicting when it made $1 billion in theaters. Did not. I don't even think it made 200 million. So, yeah, VOD does not make the money. People just wait. Because if they're going to watch it at home, they're not going to pay $20 or $30 to watch it at home. They're just going to wait until it's free. Because eventually it will be. Now, to see it in a theater, they will pay, just not right now. Because they don't want to go to theaters right now. Pandemic. It is what it is. And nobody's going to be able to tell them that they're wrong, right? Like, you know, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. What you need to understand is, if this deal sticks long term, it's going to affect things because the studios aren't going to make as much money on the movies And when they're not making as much money, the theaters aren't making as much money, so they're going to have trouble staying in business, which then the studios, again, will make even less money if theaters start closing, which then is going to affect, because I hear people a lot, they tell me, oh, well, you know what, if movies aren't that big of a thing, so what? I got all my TV shows. Where do you think they get the funding for most TV shows? Most TV shows, put Netflix aside. Netflix, by the way, they fund TV shows by going into debt. They're $25 billion in debt right now. So Netflix's party isn't going to last much longer, and they already raised their prices this year. So don't expect that party to be keeping going the way it is. But anyway, TV shows get most of their funding from the movies. All the Marvel shows coming up, movie money. It trickles down to the TV shows. That's where they get that funding. The Mandalorian, which is the biggest, hottest thing right now, movie money. Say what you want about The Rise of Skywalker. It made, I think it was like $600 or $700 million. Like, it made a butt ton of money. And a couple of the or actually it might have even been $1 billion. I'll have to check. Anyway, the point is Star Wars movies make $800 to $1 billion a pop. That money trickles down, and guess what? You get Mandalorian. And I don't care how good Mandalorian is, it cannot sustain the amount of money that they're used to getting from making movies. They want and need movies, and Disney is smart about this. Universal is desperate right now, and so is AMC, and so is Cinemark, and that's why you're seeing these deals. They can't last. And if they do, it's going to be the end of the entertainment as we know it. Yeah, we'll still get shows and we'll still get movies, but the quality will go down. The production value will go down, and people will lose their jobs. This is going to be very detrimental to Hollywood as a business and movie making as a business. Now, I already can hear people, well, Hollywood, they're all spoiled and elite and blah, blah, blah. Dude, 99% of people who work in Hollywood are just regular people. They're guys holding a boom mic, or, you know, somebody setting up lighting, or, you know, script writers, or, you know, they're just regular makeup artists. 99% of people who work in Hollywood are those people. Just regular people like me and you. They're not the elites that everybody talks about in Hollywood. They're just regular people. Those people are going to be out of jobs. So this is a big deal. And it's a bad deal. Long term. Short term, I get it. They really do need to do something right now because people aren't going to the movies, and the pandemic is, you know, cases skyrocketing every day, right? So short term, I get it. But it should have been a shorter term. 3 years, I think, was too long. Inevitably, I think they're all going to have to get together and come up with a more universal umbrella deal, which I think will happen. So those are my thoughts on it. I know that was a very long-winded explanation. What do you guys think? Comment below in the comments, again, on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube in the streaming comments. And, or, of course, you can comment in the tip link, streamlabs.com/movieidiot. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm going to move on to the next topic, which